What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Dreamer Cigars podcast. I am your host, Adam Guard, aka AG the Dreamer. Today, on the official Cigars for Warriors podcast, we have Desiree with Drunk Chicken Cigars. Desiree, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's always a good day when you get to have a little podcast and smoke cigars. It's a good excuse, right?
It is. And put some smoke in the air. Any day is a good excuse to do that.
Right, right. I love that. Well, the way I want to get started with this one, I mean, there's no other way to get started with Drunk Chicken Cigars than the name, right? I mean, you got to get that way too often. I'm sure you're just sick and tired of that. So tell us a little bit about the story behind how did you pick Drunk Chicken Cigars?
Drunk Chicken is the name of my chicken farm. And we're actually here at the chicken farm. I'm in the garage right now. But that's the name of my chicken farm. My friends, we live right outside of Washington, D.C. My friends never really seen chickens live in real life
Mm-hmm.
before. And when they see them running around, they told me that my chickens look drunk and I should name this place the Drunk Chicken. So, of course, I thought it was hilarious.
Right, naturally. Yep.
uh, and I bought a plaque that says "Welcome to the Drunk Chicken," where we smoke cigars, drink whiskey, and we're living the dream.
I love that.
So we actually have that plaque in the she shed. It's the outside bar, but to annoy my fiance, I always say it's the she shed.
I love it. I love that. I love that. Well, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to name the company. And behind that, right? Drunk Chicken Cigars is a newer cigar brand, right? How long have you guys been around?
Just 2019.
2019. So you got
Yes.
so you were starting fresh. You were excited, and there was so much going on, and COVID didn't hurt that at all, did it?
No, COVID didn't hurt it at all. It actually, I think, may have helped because
Really?
things started slowing down. The big guys started having problems with getting things shipped into the country, and that opened up the door for a lot of smaller brands to step
Oh,
right in
makes
and
sense.
and enter into the market. So for me, I take look back and see, all right, what worked, what didn't work, and why did it work? And I feel that people were at home, smoking and drinking, and I took the opportunity to introduce myself, smoking and drinking.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I was actually trying to be funny in the fact that I'm sure like I thought COVID would have been a really hard time, but that makes a lot of sense because yeah, there was definitely a lot of cigar shortages, and the big guys were getting a lot of bad rap, like, oh, you can't fulfill this store, that store, all the stores that they're trying to do, and they're the back orders. It's a buzzword, right? A word that you don't say in the
Hmm.
cigar industry right now, the back orders. But um, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I being here in Atlanta, we saw we're good friends with ATL Cigar Co. And I think they took advantage of the same thing. They're kind of a smaller boutique brand and started around the same time, I believe. So that makes a lot of sense. They've seen some growth, so that's awesome. I mean, congratulations for that.
Thank you. When you're starting off, you don't really know what hard times really are. You don't know if it's hard times or good times. You just know that you're starting, and you don't know if it's good growth, bad growth. You're
Right.
growing, and you
Exactly.
take that at face value. So I didn't know that there was bad times. I just knew that, hey, the world is shutting down. There's COVID, and I needed something to do with
Right. And smoking and drinking is a good,
myself.
oh, I started a new business. That's a good excuse to smoke and drink, right? We did the same thing with starting a podcast. We did the same thing. So that's awesome. Well, getting kind of into, we met at PCA, right? And
Hmm.
right away, of course, I had to get pictures with the dancing drunk chicken. That was a good. I gotta say, that was a good move having him dancing around. I feel sorry for that guy though. I'm sure he was just sweating his butt off and just hot in that chicken suit. But yeah, it was definitely a good attraction. But as we started talking, being the Cigars for Warriors podcast, I was super intrigued by the fact that you said that a lot of people in your organization, the reps and the sales and all that sort of stuff, are veterans. Can you speak to why that you made that decision?
Uh, uh, it's important to support. I mean, I'm born here in the USA. Was married to a sailor, uh, and now
Oh,
my
okay.
fiance is an army uh, guy. He is a retired, not retired, but he's got out the army, and so I was a military wife for a long time, and
Gotcha.
it's just for me was something that camaraderie that I gained. I worked for the Coast Guard for 10 years. So
Wow.
I'm like ingrained into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
military lifestyle. And so when we start talking about doing the company, we started talking about values, what values we wanted to have for the company, and our mission, and what do we want to accomplish. And first thing that came up was make sure we support our troops, make sure we support the military families the best we can. And
Right.
so that has been one of our core values is, when people say, hey, I want to be an ambassador. All right, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. And as soon as somebody says, I used to be in the military, okay, my ears perk up and I,
Right.
I want to hear more. And I find that, hey, I find the best people, the they have the best values, the best work ethics. They are stand up people. So I'm definitely for everybody I can.
Right. That is awesome, and I think that's just a testament to starting the organization and the success that you've had. I think that was a really good route to go. They got the discipline. They got the hard work, the work
Yes.
ethic, like you said. So that's awesome. So you have all these veterans working for you and working with you, and I think that's just a great thing because like we talked about the work ethic, all that sort of stuff. Now, one of your guys I met at PCA, his name is Eric, right? I believe that he was a recipient of the Cigars for Warriors packages going overseas when he was in Afghanistan, correct?
Yes, and it's funny because I heard the story the same time you heard the story about
Really?
him being a
Oh,
recipient for
wow.
Cigars for Warrior. Now, I knew he smoked cigars when he was in Afghanistan, but I didn't know due to being a recipient for Cigars for Warriors. So I asked Rico, who is my fiance,
Yeah.
hey, were you a Cigars for Warrior recipient? Because I know you spoke, that's how you were kind of introduced to cigars as
Yeah.
well. He said, I don't even know, but I know there were cigars over there. So
So it might have
and
even
I
been that
think that
too.
Cigars for Warriors really made an impact on a lot of people when they were over there in Afghanistan. So
Right. I mean, Eric. I mean, his whole story, his whole timeline. Right. We did a little short interview with him at PCA and talked to him even outside of that. And he was saying that that was when he smoked his first cigar, and he was just saying how important those times were when he was able to have a cigar and how crazy it was to where right the craziness of what was going on and you know it was just their only chance to basically kind of escape from their current reality, right? They were in a war torn area. They were going through all this stuff, but once a week or whatever it was, they got to have those cigars and just talk about their families, talk about the people that they had at home, the just funny stories, just like we do in our backyards, just like you do at the drunk chicken she shed, right? um, and
actually, I think that's what cigars is all about, though, is camaraderie,
right,
the fellowship that you gain when you're sitting down having an interview,
right.
sitting down with friends, um, hanging out at a cigar lounge with strangers, the best time to meet somebody and gain a little bit of relationship with them, even if it's for a short period of time, a stranger, is with a cigar.
Absolutely. And, I don't know how many times, if I had a nickel every time I heard somebody talk about the fact that, anybody ever can meet at a cigar lounge. You talk about politics, you talk about religion, whatever. It doesn't matter where you land in any of those spectrums of life. You sit down with somebody and you have a cigar, you're going to have a fantastic conversation no matter who they are, because it's a bonding just thing. And people ask, like, what is it about cigars that does that? It's like, I don't even know. I just know they do it, right? I mean, it's of course like the relaxing nature and all that sort of stuff, but it's also just the experience. And for some reason, I mean, that's why I became so passionate about cigars, is the conversations that I had over cigars. I started smoking with my dad, and we just had such good conversations. And I was like, why would I not have another cigar? Because every time I have one, I have a great conversation.
I think it was for me the being able to have not just the relationship, the conversation, but the connection with that person that you're talking, speaking with. It's very, I don't know, surreal to be able to go someplace and, hey, how are you? What are you smoking? And then all of a sudden you're there, have been talking for hours with somebody you just met.
Right, right. It's the great equalizer for sure. Well, the story with Eric really is incredible, and just the whole fact that Drunk Chicken Cigars is kind of revolved around veterans as a whole is really, I mean, I'm not at a loss for words. I almost said, we're doing the podcast right now, because I'm like, man, like, just thinking about it in my head, like, it's really like a fantastic idea, business wise, of course, to have veterans because of the discipline and all like that we talked about, but just in general to be able to support what they do and appreciate what they do, and to give back in that little way. But changing gears a little bit.
Okay.
We at Dreamer Cigars, like we always talk about cigar education, newbie cigar smokers, all that sort of stuff. If you had one piece of advice that you could give to a newbie cigar smoker, what would it be?
Try everything.
I love that.
Yes, try everything. And don't let anybody tell you what you're smoking is not a great cigar. If you love it, it's a great cigar. Period. It, it's everybody's palate is different. That's why sometimes I have concerns when I see the reviews, because you're reviewing something that is going to be different for every single person that smokes it.
Yep.
Not only every single person to smoke it, but you can smoke the same cigar 5 times and get 5 different experiences based on what you just ate. What are you drinking now? What are you pairing with it?
Yeah.
And sometimes even the mood I'm in.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not feeling that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I could not agree more. So, we do reviews, and it's funny that you bring that up, because it's something, everybody asks, like, what do you think of this cigar? What do you think of that? This, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I always do reviews, but I always make it a point to tell my followers, everybody listening, companies, all the above, that I'm never going to bash any cigar, even if I thought it was like the worst thing ever. The only thing I ever really bashed was like Swisher Sweets. And, that's a different game, right? So that's the only, I think I gave that a 1 out of 10. Like I reviewed a cigar, I believe it was last week, and I got a lot of backlash on the comments because I didn't say a lot of positive things about the cigar when I was smoking it, but I made sure when I posted my review, it was like an 8.2 out of 10, right? Which is decently up there, right? But I don't even believe in, like, my personal review, I almost don't give anything below, like, my personal review is going to be different than the one that I post out there. Now there's like obviously like a sliding scale where the ones in the 9s and up, I obviously really did enjoy, but ones below, like 8.5 and stuff, I'll never really give them, like, I'm never going to say this is a 4, never smoked this cigar, because somebody else might like that. And a lot of people, I gave it like an 8.2, right? And people were like, nothing you said made it deserve an 8.2. Why would I ever smoke this cigar? And I kept telling people, just because I don't like it, this may be your favorite cigar on the planet. Like, you may smoke this one and be like, that Adam dude has no idea what he's talking about. I'm unsubscribing. I'm unfollowing him from everything. This is the best cigar I've ever had. And I try, everybody wants reviews and they want to see that, and I get that. But I try and be as just as honest as I can with everybody and say, look, this isn't my cigar, but just because it's not my cigar doesn't mean it's not going to be yours. I agree with you completely. Try everything. Try everything on the planet. I don't care if you've been smoking for 10 years and you've tried, thousands of different cigars. Keep trying them. I'm still in
Yes.
that same realm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually, before all of this happened, with my own cigar, I used to review cigars myself, and my reviews, and just for myself, not for the public. Um, and my reviews were, I looked at the notes, I took notes on the notes. I have an Excel spreadsheet where
Yeah,
I wrote
love
down what
that.
I
Yeah,
liked and didn't like. Um, and it was, I got lightheaded with this one, or
right.
it was really woody, and I try to smoke it more than once too,
I think
to
that
see
is
if
super
I
important.
receive the same thing. Yeah.
Like I said, it can all change depending on what was on your palate previously. I don't think any of us are taking it to the extreme that maybe some people do in the industry that they're like, man, I got to make sure my palate is fresh before I smoke any cigar, so I know what. Like, no, like you're casually with your friends, you're casually out. You just, your palate may be different every single time. I mean, I'm right now. Unfortunately, I smoked all my drunk chicken, so I'm not smoking a drunk chicken right now. But I'm smoking one from AJ Fernandez, and I've actually had this one plenty of times, and this is the best experience that I've had with this specific cigar. Now, it may be because I'm talking to you right now, and it's a great experience, but it just depends.
I'm gonna go with that.
I like that. I like that. I will too. I'll write it down in the Excel spreadsheet that I was talking to Desiree. That's why it was good.
Yes, do that. I'm smoking a Mother Clucker today, and
Mother clucker.
this Mother Clucker, yeah,
This
this
mother
Mother
clucker
Clucker
right
here.
here. I love that.
Uh, it's actually not a true Mother Clucker. Before I settled on the current blend of Mother Clucker, I went through many iterations of Mother Cluckers, and I have quite a few of them still left. So, and they're like 3 and 4 years old, and this is one of those
Wow,
uh,
nice.
iterations. But there were many of them that were just excellent, excellent, excellent cigars. Um, but we chose that Mother Clucker because it was distinctly different from the other blends.
Right.
So that was one of the things that made it special, was just that woody cedar that it has.
Right. I like that. Well, we got to get into the names because the mother clucker, obviously it fits the brand. How many different lines do you guys have right now?
Currently, we're selling 6 different lines.
6 different lines.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, there's 13, 14 different facings. So each blend, except for the homicidal hand is only robusto. But the other
The
ones
homicidal
come in
hen.
at
That's a
least
good one.
2 or 3 different sizes.
So the homicidal hen's got to be a strong cigar, right?
Yes, yes, it's a broadleaf with double Ajero.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a smooth cigar. All of our cigars currently to date are very smooth when it comes to when you're smoking it, but that strength is definitely there with the homicidal.
Right. That makes sense. I had I believe it was the DCO, the Drunk Chicken Original, at PCA. Is that the correct name?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. That one was really smooth all the way through. I would consider that one probably maybe a medium to full. Um,
Mhm.
Probably had that full effect because at PCA you're smoking plenty of cigars, so I had already had a couple. But yeah, that one was a great cigar, and I know, here on the Dreamer Cigars podcast, it's famous that John doesn't smoke cigars, and John's not a fan of cigars. He actually is quoted saying, "I don't see the
Boo.
hype." Right? Yeah, right. The boo. Yeah, and
Boo.
he's a producer of a cigar podcast. So I mean, come on. But there's a testament for you guys here. at PCA. You know,
Okay.
John was with us. He had the sweet tipped drunk chicken cigar, which what is that called?
Sweet dreams.
Sweet Dreams, and he actually enjoyed that one. He smoked it all the way through. I was a witness
Yay!
myself. So you guys may have been the reason that John starts smoking cigars again. Now he's not smoking
Hey,
one
you
right
know
now,
what?
but we got to get him some more Sweet Dreams, and we'll be able to do what we
I've
can.
converted a lot of people on Sweet Dreams. A lot of people. When people ask me, "Oh, I've never smoked a cigar before," or "I only smoke medicinal herbs,"
Yeah, right.
um, I give them either the DCO or the Sweet Dreams, the ones that medicinal herbs. But I always ask, why do you enjoy that
Right. Smoking that,
medicinal
yeah.
herb? Yeah, smoking that. And I want to know if you like it because of the smoke, do you like it because of the feeling, do you like it because of
Right.
the flavor? What is it about it?
Right.
And once I get that information, is that depends on what I'm going to lean them towards. But if they're telling me I like the strength, I like the feeling, I'm gonna send them towards the DCO.
Right.
But if they're or the homicidal hand. But if they're telling me, oh, I just like smoking, camaraderie,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure I really like the flavor, I send them to the Sweet Dream. So I've converted a lot of people to cigar smoking because of that.
Yeah, I think I'm not a sweet tip cigar smoker myself. But I see the reason and the logic and the purpose behind those sweet tip cigars. I mean, so many people. I've done the same thing. I've converted plenty of people. My wife, she started smoking the acid cigars, and now she'll smoke a regular cigar with me on occasion. So that's how a lot of people like to start out, because the tobacco taste can be super harsh if you're not used to it, and you want to learn how to smoke, and you start enjoying the experience more, and then you're like, you know what, I want to upgrade a little bit. Let's get a DCO. Let's try a little something else. So
Oh, don't go there next.
no, yeah, right. There's some other things that people need to go to next.
uh, yeah, in between. But yeah, I think that that's one of the major things that I express to people is when you are about to go smoke a cigar, figure out, or as I'm training the ambassadors, um, talk to people. What is it that you like when you smoke the cigar? Do you like the woodiness? Do you like the creamy? Do you like the full body? What is it that you like? And then once you start getting those answers, then you can point them to a cigar that fits their palate better.
Right.
Instead of when people say, "Well, what's your best seller?" I can give you my best seller, and it could be the Sweet Dreams. But if you don't like sweet tips, then you're gonna say, "Oh, drunk chicken cigars are awful."
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, that's really good that you have a cigar for everybody in your line. So anybody watching right now, definitely the whole line, Drunk Chicken has something for you. So you don't have to stay away. You don't have to be afraid. But with that said, from here, right? Drunk Chicken Cigars, you
Huh?
guys, was that your first PCA event that you guys were at?
No, that was the second one. We
Second
did
one.
it last year as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, we did a little bit bigger than this year. Last year we were in a 10 by 10.
Gotcha.
This year we were in a 10 by 20.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we may be going a little bit bigger next year. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll
That's
see.
awesome. Well, I'll take another picture with the drunk chicken again next year, but I'm not wearing that suit, so don't ask me to.
Oh, that suit is. Ooh, he was drenched. We could have wrang it out
Oh,
and have a cup of water, a cup of sweat. Ugh.
mm,
But we send it to the cleaners. So,
that's good. That's good. So with that
and he
said,
did have a fan in there too.
really, wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. With that said, where does Drunk Chicken Cigars go from here? What's kind of next for you guys?
Um, for the company, we want to make sure that we are going to be here for a long time. I don't want to be a one and done type of cigar company.
Right.
So, making sure that the administrative part, the back end of the company is solid is my most important thing that I'm focusing on right now.
That's
Customer
awesome.
service, making sure my current customers are happy, understanding that we are having some growth hiccups as we
Mm-hmm.
grow.
Yep.
Um, but communication, making sure that the ambassadors I have right now are solid, uh, and moving from there, I want to have a, what do you call it with the three little pigs, the brick house.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
want any
Right.
big bad whoop to huff and puff and blow me away.
Right.
So we are really focusing on the structure, the foundation right now, and we'll probably be doing that for another year. So I don't expect us to come out with any new cigars anytime soon.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, with that said, where can people find out more about Drunk Chicken Cigars if they're interested? They want to learn more. They want to find your cigars. Where can they go?
www.drunkchickencigars.com, IG drunkchickencigars.com, uh, TikTok Drunk Chicken Cigars, Twitter Drunk
Love
Chicken,
that.
and Facebook all the same Drunk Chicken Cigars. We're easy to find out information about.
Yeah, it's true. It wasn't probably hard to get that name. I don't know if anybody else had that
Not
out
at
there.
all. Not at all.
That is awesome. Well, Desiree, it has been absolutely a pleasure to have you on. Guys, make sure you're checking out Drunk Chicken Cigars anywhere you can find them. Go follow them. Just type it in on whatever social media you're at. You'll find them. Obviously, it's not going to be hard to find them. Check out their cigars. Highly recommend it. And Desiree, I just want to say, we, as a part of the Cigars for Warriors, we really appreciate all your help with that and everything that you guys do for the veterans. So that is really awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And don't forget to start your day the Drunk Chicken Cigar way.
I love that. I love that. Well, Desiree, that's a wrap for what we got. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is the Dreamer Cigars podcast, the official podcast of the Cigars for Warriors. Make sure you're following the Cigars for Warriors on everything, and you're following Dreamer Cigars on everything. And until next time, this is AG the Dreamer. Thanks, guys.